Nation, what's going on? What's going on? Hey, welcome to Fan Talk Friday. We made it. Nation, what's going on? Welcome to Protect the Shield podcast. It's your boy Chris, where opinions might not always be popular, but they'll always be authentic. Thank you guys for spending some time with us on Friday. You guys could be anywhere else, but you're here with me. It's been a long week. I don't know about you guys, but I had to pour up a little something, and I'm actually pouring up some Grand Leyenda tequila. Shout out to my boy Hugh Jackson. Took care of me, shout out to you, Jackson, man. It's my dog. So, but anyway, man, I got a real good show today. Got three good fans in the building, man, ready to talk about this crazy team that we love called the Raiders, man. It's never a week that goes by that we don't have some news to talk about, man. But I'm going to introduce three very important guests to me. First, got my man Leo in the building. What's up, baby?
Yeah, what's up, bro?
Man, how you doing, man? You doing all right?
Tequila. Yeah, I saw you hooked me up with the tequila.
Oh, man. Shout out to you, Jackson. That's my dog,
for real,
man.
Bro.
It's smooth, too, man. The 100% organic, man.
I saw that on your podcast. I was like, man, I got to find a bottle of that.
Oh, man. You know what? But I think there's a lot of it out in Cali, though. It was just hard to find in Ohio, man.
Oh, okay. I got to check it out.
Glad I got it. Next up to the stage, got my home girl, Queen V. What's up, Queen?
Hi. How are you? Good. How are you guys?
I'm good. It's Friday.
I'm jealous. That tequila bottle. Damn.
It's good, right?
I got the Resposado and an Anejo, so
nice.
To start this Friday off.
That's good.
And last but not least, I got my man. He needs no introduction, but we're gonna introduce him anyway. Got my boy, Big Daddy Delgado. How you doing, Jose?
Blessed, BBT. Blessed, thankful, and I'm happy to be here, man, and positive as always, brother. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. So I feel like I got the dream team in the building, man. Couldn't ask for anything more, man. So appreciate you guys coming through. But honestly, we got some stuff to talk about, man, on this team that we love. I mean, first, man, and I know how I feel, but I'm gonna ask you guys how you feel. So, I know my man Tom Brady, he it looks like he completely shut down the rumor of him returning, which I'm good with. But just wanted to kind of get what how you guys feel about that. Let's start with Big Daddy. How you feeling about my man finally saying it's a wrap?
I saw his interview earlier today, and he looks like his mind is checked out of playing every single day. Yeah. He looks too relaxed. He's in another world. And as much as obviously we call him the GOAT, I think his next move is to try to be the GOAT on Fox TV next year, excuse me. And then as a part owner, I don't see him just chilling and watching games with Mr. D. I think he'll have a little bit of input, but not where he's a shot caller. But I think he's far away from suiting up, training camp, and getting hit by Aaron Donald and those boys.
Yeah, that's a full-time commitment right there, man. I mean, it sounds cute being up there and throwing the ball, man, but you got some dogs out there chasing you, man, with bad intentions. So Leo, what you think, man?
Man, you know what? I'm glad he did the interview because it squashed a lot of what we would have kept hearing the rest of the week.
I know.
It would have been like, oh, he's going to be owner. They're going to vote on it. Here comes Tom. And I agree. When I saw the interview, like, I legit think he really is done playing. And he's looking forward to that next part in his life, which is good for him.
Yeah.
And hopefully it'll bring good to us now that he's part owner, a small part. But I hope that he uses that mark uses his experience, his knowledge to get that input, to get that feedback from him, you know, to better us. But as far as him playing, yeah, I think he's done his one. Good for him. He said he's the GOAT. Been playing for a long time. I know a lot of the nation hates him. We're allowed to hate him, but at the same time, you got to respect his game.
I mean, at the end of the day, he's a Raider now, man. So,
yeah,
you know,
exactly.
We're always so quick to say once a Raider, always a Raider. He's a Raider,
right?
Why we hating him? Why we hating him? At the end of the day, so you know that's kind of where I'm at. Queen V, what's your thoughts?
I seen the interview also, and I was kind of glad that, you know, he's doing what he's doing. That's what he wants to do. I mean, you can't make him do something he doesn't want to do. So, and he's done. I mean, he's you know, he's done his time, you know, and time to do something else. So,
no, I agree. I think, you know, at the end of the day, because one thing about Brady, and I think what makes him so great is, you know, his dedication. You know, he's all in on something, you know, and I think that was his. I mean, to the point where he literally gave up his marriage, you know, to be able to play ball, you know. So, you know, he's not going to half-ass it. So, you know, and I think if his heart's really not in it, for one, I don't want him. If his heart's not in it, we've already had that too many times with people half-assing it. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, I think that, you know, Mark Davis, he's always had some football people around him, and I think a lot of them probably passed away. You know, I know he really had like John Madden and some people like that was real close to him. I think even Marcel Reese kind of played a part. I know Charles Woodson did, but I think, you know, having someone like Brady, you know, next to him, you know, maybe give him some wisdom. You know, it can't hurt. At the end of the day, I'm not one of those people that hate on Brady because of the tuck rule, so I'm kind of over it. So, what you think, Big Daddy? I know you pretty, you know, we talk, you know, extensively about that. What's your thoughts?
Well, you know what? It took a long time to get past that tuck rule. I think I just got over it 20 minutes ago. But all kidding aside, I look at it this way. When I was listening to your other distinguished guests, I started thinking, what if we had gotten Andy Reid and he retired?
Yeah.
Sure. You know, will we be listening to him? Absolutely. So to me, us doing it and listening to the Raider way, it hasn't worked for 20 years. And you're right. Well-respected John Madden has joined Al Davis, and we lost a lot of other people that had high football IQ. May they rest in peace. But, you know, to me, it's like this, man, in the entertainment industry. If you got somebody that's coming out with hit music every single month for a long time, every year, you're going to listen to them and say, you know what can I get to put in our playbook? And God knows these last 20 years have been trying on all of us, and it just hasn't worked. So to me, I'm all for, you know, even if he gives us, you know, whatever tidbits we can to make our team better, man.
No, I agree. I'm totally in, man. It's like, at the end of the day, you can't have too many winners around, you know, and that's what it's about, you know. At the end of the day, you know, people have their thoughts on Brady, but he's seen what winning looks like, you know. Again, he may not have been a you know, owner before or front office, but he knows what a front office that has been successful looks like. He knows what a young quarterback that got drafted late, that has hunger in his heart, that has that little twinkle in his eye, like I'm ready to be a dog. He knows what that looks like, you know. So at the end of the day, I'm cool with it. So I'm not tripping so much, man. It's just I just love how our fans, man, they go crazy, man. They go crazy, man. And then I know, so you know, one of the other things that's been kind of big, this Jimmy G injury. You know, I know we keep talking about it, and you know, what are you guys' thoughts on just this whole injury? Is it as bad as what, you know, some people are trying to say? You know, how are you guys feeling about it? You know, ultimately, you know, we're hearing a lot of, you know, different sides of the spectrum, but what's you guys' thoughts?
Man, you know what? This is the thing everybody was afraid of when we got him, right? We knew his durability was in question. So for the nation to panic or react the way they're doing it, like, I get it, because we haven't even started. We're barely in June, and we're already talking about this dude being injured. But he's older. Who knows how his body's going to heal? I just hope that they didn't make a huge mistake by hoping the surgery was going to go okay, and this was going to be our QB, and us entering the season without a big question mark. Because we could have did so many different things in the draft. It could have went differently. But knowing we had this dude kind of changed the focus of the team. So I could understand why everybody's so mad, but then the panic is it's crazy, the panic that everybody's going to see. This is why we didn't want him. He's injury prone. Like, we knew that going in, but you can't freak out. Well, we haven't even played one game this season yet. Let things play out, see how they go. We're not doctors. We're not there. We don't know how it's going to heal, how he's going to go through. So all I can do is just keep the faith and hope that come, preseason, come training days, he starts to show up and he's able to play and he's able to have a season with us.
No, that's a good point. That's just when it comes to that, I think that, just like you said, we're not doctors. We don't know the specifics. And even a lot of these reporters, don't know the specifics. But one thing I gotta say is, just listen to Josh McDaniels kind of talk about it, and that was kind of like my next question was, on his press conference, he said he has no anxiety over that injury. And honestly, if anyone should have anxiety, it should be him, because his ass is on the line, at the end of the day. So, and a lot of people say, oh, he might say this and that, but just kind of looking at him, he looked like he was unfazed. He looked like he wasn't worried. Like, he didn't look like a guy that was like, oh, damn. Like this literally, because honestly, if he doesn't work out as a head coach here, he could forget about ever being a head coach ever again, I think.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think he has to understand that, this is it. So, I don't think he's going to half-ass it. I don't think, he's just going to say things just to say it, So that's just me. What do you think, Big Daddy?
You know what? I look at it this way. When free agency started, and we were all surprised when Stidham went to Denver, I think we were liking to sign Jimmy on a scale of 1 to 10, about 6.5 to 7. But when Stidham went to Denver, I think that shot up to 10. Okay, because we weren't going to go get Andy Dalton, Matt Ryan, and all them people like that. But what happened was that shot up to 10. Now, I truly believe, just like with the Tyree Wilson injury, they're putting a lot of trust into our doctors, man. And when I listened to a couple GMs speak this week, they said 70% of contracts are drawn up. Are drawn up with that injury to protect themselves. So kudos to the Raiders for protecting themselves. However, and that's why we got Jimmy at a bargain back. I think it's 11 million or whatever it is. It's not a lot. Yeah. But I know that they took away the bonus, so that financially wise, they did it right. At the same time, you can best believe Mark Davis huddled with those guys, GMZ and McDaniels, and said, hey, man, if we're going to invest in this guy, even if we don't have to pay him, I don't want us to be without a quarterback at the beginning of the year. So all those, one thing about this regime, unlike Gruden, Mayock, and Reggie and all them guys, these guys right here are very secretive. Nobody saw Devontae coming, last year. Nobody really didn't know who we were going to draft this year. So they're very secretive, and I'm cool with that. But I truly, truly believe they're putting all their trust in the doctors, A, and B, I'll echo what you said. His job's on the line, man. And this is his last job he'll ever have if he's wrong on this, man.
Yeah, no, I agree 1,000%, man. And, I just think at the end of the day, these guys are smart. And again, I don't know why we always get caught up in all of these reports, because again, this regime they're great at the whole smoke screen. Like I was saying before the draft, everyone's thinking we're taking a quarterback. They had no intention on getting a quarterback, but they were the ones that helped kind of plant those seeds in the media to make us think we're going to trade up to, man, there was never, it was a 0% chance. So I'm like, if you guys hear it out in the media, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to happen because they're not going to let nothing leak at the end of the day. That's how I feel. So I don't know, man. I respect it, man. Just as someone that is a competitive person and don't want anyone else to get the competitive edge from you. I don't know, man. I think I like them more than most people do, man. But shout out to them. Shout out to them. Queen V, what do you think?
He was injured before. He got injured before we signed him, correct?
Yeah.
So it's not something like they didn't know that already.
Yep.
And then, the medical field now, there's so much, the technology is so different too now. They got better ways of taking care of them. So hopefully he will be better by the time the first game starts. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, for sure. I think that, actually with you being in the medical field, that's a good take because, it's not the way that it used to be, now.
It's not.
They can really do a lot of different things. And from my understanding, from what I've heard, it was just a cleanup procedure, pretty much to clean up some scar tissue. It's not like they were going in and doing some true surgery on the foot itself. So, it is what it is at the end of the day. So, again, I just keep going back to the whole, just watching that press conference with McDaniels, him just saying he had no anxiety, to me, that made me feel better, honestly. That made, because now if they go out and try to make a last ditch effort, I think I saw a rumor of them looking at Jameis Winston and Andy Dalton and all this mess. Yeah. Like, now if they start doing stuff like that, then it's like, okay, now it maybe time to panic, but I'm not too worried about it.
I think that would cause more panic. Like if you were to see them bring in those type of players, because the whole reason moving on from DC was I want a guy that knows my system.
Right.
So why are you bringing those dudes when you brought in your guys that know your system?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Big Daddy, I just wanted to add real quick. I'm about turning a negative into a positive.
Right.
McConnell is getting so many extra reps in OTAs now.
Yeah.
If there was 400 reps with Jimmy healthy, now he's splitting them 200 apiece with him and Hoyer. And, just the little tidbits I've been checking out, McConnell's been balling, man, in the OTAs. Is he going to start opening day? I have no idea, but the bottom line is this. When DC Carr beat out Shaw, I was excited because we were moving on. And, and we lost that game against the Jets. It's all good, Gino and all that. They came into the league together. But I'm excited about us, whether it's Jimmy, McConnell, or whoever, that we've moved on, man. Because, I don't want to turn this into a discussion about, DC4. But, he did his part, and it was time to, disconnect and file our papers and divorce and move on. And I wish him the best, in the NFC. But to me, I'm going to go to that first preseason game, and I'm going to be looking for a young man to go handle his business. And obviously they got him for a reason. He's super accurate, throws a deep ball, and, he's like NFL Rocky, man. He was just a walk-on. So, he's got that chip all the way. Some people had a little baby because he chose number 4, and I'm like, come on, man. let that go too. It's not like we're gonna hang Carr's jersey in the rafters at Allegiant,
right?
So to me, if that's his number 4, go for it and ball out, and you know what, make it more famous than the last guy that wore number 4.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's crazy, man. Like I said, I love my team so much. I love the Raider Nation, man. But I feel like we're like a group of just misfits, man. It's like we can't get along, and it's like I love part of it, but I hate stuff like this because like every little thing, man, every little thing. Because honestly, I like the direction we're going in. Like I'll be debating all day on social media with people.
I seen you.
It's like I'll be forgetting I got a real job, man. But yeah, I literally just debate with people because I at first, I mean, I will admit there was some times I had, it was a tough pill to swallow, certain moves that were made. And I know most of you guys, I probably have talked to you guys one-on-one about some of the stuff, but I overall like the direction. I saw a press conference, or I saw something the other day. I think it was like 45 of the players that we have were like undrafted or something. And I think that's out of the full. I think there's like 80 people on the team now, right now. Of course, they're going to cut down, but that's saying a lot. That like we're looking for a certain mentality, and there's something to say about a person that walked on and earned their stripes, and not saying that everybody is like weaker than everyone else, but like Jacoby Myers, he's a beast. He's a dog. He didn't get drafted. You know what I'm saying? But he had that mindset like, look, I'm coming in and earning everything that I got. And I think that's what these guys are looking for. One thing that I think the Patriot regime was good at that a lot of people don't give them credit for is development, player development. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Like they will find a undrafted free agent and make him a dog. People forget about that, man. And that is such a undervalued attribute that I don't think that people get credit for. I can't. I like Gruden for a while, but I can't see Gruden being a guy that really developed, players. I mean, there were some, but we got a couple guys on the team now that like a Sam Webb, Tyler Hall. You know what I'm saying? Like little young guys like that, and like me personally, I love that 7th round pick that we got, man, from he was at Miami, then went to
Arizona State.
Arizona State. I like it. I hope he makes a team. I don't know if he will, but
right.
I love them dog mentality type of dudes, man. So we'll see what happens, man.
Now, it's funny you mentioned that, and I was having this argument with somebody about the Raider way and the old school. We're losing our way. I'm a bro. If you think about it, that 70s team that we idolized so much, those were a bunch of misfits.
Exactly.
A bunch of no names until they became known for being Raiders. You know what I mean? With the few exceptions of the, Stabler branch, the draft picks, but a lot of those dudes just gelled.
They
played together, and they were known just for playing tough, and their mentality, the type of players that Al and John recruited for that team back then. That's what these dudes are trying to do. And I go to your point, like I like John Gruden too, to a certain extent, but I always felt they lacked that development part. They never developed our draft picks or our rookies. It was either you came in and you were good and you did it, or you weren't. There was never that developmental thing, where you see it with these other teams. And New England is a prime example of the way they used to do it. They had a bunch of no-name players that would just come up out of nowhere, and these dudes would just start balling. And even when those players wanted more money or thought they were bigger than the team, they were like moving on from them and bringing somebody else in, like next man up mentality. And I think that's where we're going at, and that's why I like the direction. But it does hurt as a Raider fan to see this, like, oh man, here we go with another rebuild because we've been losing for so long,
Right. No, that's a good point, man. Because honestly, you think back at like when I think about the Patriots, man, I always think about like the Danny Amendolas and what I'm saying, like them type of cats.
Julian Edelman,
yeah. So you think about them, and I'm like, I think about it, and honestly, and Big Daddy, I always go back to that Darren Waller thing, man. So it hurt my heart that we traded him, and I'm like, okay, I want to see who we're gonna get with this number 100 pick. And when we did it, I was pissed, but Big Daddy was more mad than me. Big Daddy was mad. But the thing is, now that I think about it, I'm like, man, this kid, he has some of those attributes that like Hunter Renfrow doesn't have. So like, if they can develop this kid, he could be a stud. And I may eat my words, but it's like at the end of the day, I just have to sit back and just trust the process. I was a Division II player in college, and I wasn't good enough to do anything more. So I only know so much, so I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know all the answers and all that. So at the end of the day, it's hard to trust the process, but them some smart guys, man. And I'm gonna trust the process for real.
Always.
So another big thing that has been talked about is Hunter Renfrow. So what are we doing with Hunter? You know, there's some rumors going around that he's going to be traded. What's your thoughts on that? How, you know, do you think that's going to happen? If it did happen, how would you feel about it? What do you think, Big Daddy?
I think if we was to trade him or release him, if I got my money right, we save $11 million. Okay, I'm cool with that. But for me to tell Mr. Renfrow sayonara, these are the things that have to happen. Our third round pick, Trey Tucker, is just balling out in OTAs and training camp that he looks like he's going to start and take snaps away from Renfrow. And B, we potentially do the old trade-o, maybe for a 1-year rent of Isaiah Simmons or Patrick Cream from Baltimore, or just flat out draft picks from somebody else. Now, honestly, the most I think we can get for Renfrow, because it's not like he was a Pro Bowler last year, is probably, and I'm stretching this, a 4th rounder. Okay? But if we do that and get a 4th rounder, let's get it from somebody that's drafting like in the top 5 or 7 next year, which will be like the equal of a 3rd rounder. So I got no problem with moving on from Renfrow, because sometimes he freelances too much as far as just doing his routes, but not yet. We gotta see what this young man from Cincinnati that we drafted before we make a move like that.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think Hunter. The crazy thing about Hunter is like he's so easily, like it's easy to like him because he actually seems like he would be the type of player that every coach would want. He just seems like that guy that's going to go out and earn. And honestly, what I would prefer if Hunter would restructure his contract. I would like to keep Hunter, honestly. I don't know if he will. But, you know, at the end of the day, if he goes, he goes. I'm not tripping on it because I think we saved like 11 million.
11 and a half, yeah.
Yeah, 11 and a half. So, you know, if we can use that on the defensive side of the ball, you know, get some players, I mean, that's cool. But honestly, I do like Hunter's like mentality, and I think that would be beneficial in the locker room. And at the end of the day, with us getting Amendola as a coach, he may have been brought in just to help Hunter get his stuff together because Hunter's a beast, but Hunter likes to freestyle what he does. I mean, and that's why at first, you know, him and Gruden, you know, didn't kind of see eye to eye because Hunter liked to, you know, find the gaps himself. But, you know, with Josh's offense, man, it's real precise. And, you know, you got to be at 5 yards, you know, at 5 yards. You can't, you know, do your thing, you know, and then come back. You know, that's how that play happened with him and Devontae running into each other. You know what I'm saying? It's like at the end of the day, it's Hunter doing his own thing, and it's like you can't do that, man. So, you know, it's crazy. It's crazy. Let's go to some of these comments, man. You know, I got my man Port Raider in the building talking about Luke Matterson. Yeah, he actually had some good snaps last year. You know, the UDFA at the linebacker. I wouldn't mind seeing how he develops, so that would be nice. And I got For Life, our Raider story in the building. Shout out to Spicy. It's hard to trust a process because they've sucked for 20 years. That's true.
You know what? I think there's a difference between losing and sucking. If we sucked, we would be picking 1 and 2 every year, and we haven't. We're not at that point where we suck so much. We're at the bottom, but then we're not good enough to make the playoffs every year. But we're like in that in-between zone, you know? Like, I think there's a difference. Like, we've had a couple. We made the playoffs, you know, a few years back. The 2016 team had a good run. You talked to Coach Jackson about the runs that we had back when he was the coach, you know?
Yeah.
So there were those moments where we had the team. We had the potential. You know, injuries, NFL, things like that happen. But I wouldn't say we've sucked. We just haven't been competitive as we would like to be. You know what I mean?
All right. You know what? You're right, man. It's like, to me, like, especially last year, like, even though we didn't get the results, and at the end of the day, it's a result-driven league. It's a result-driven league. At the end of the day, you win or lose. And I think the year before, those close games, we just won them.
Right.
But last year
we lost them.
Man, but it's not like people act like we lost the locker room. He act like Josh McDaniels lost the locker room. He didn't at all. Them dudes fought every game. Them dudes fought every game, man. And it's like I don't know, man. It's that narrative that everyone hates him. It just it drives me crazy, man. It drives me crazy.
when they interview them, they all talk good about him.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
And they all like how much they like him, how much he pushes them. So
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. NorCal Raider Jesse, what's going on, man? So Hunter Renfro can go and pay JJ. I'm with that. I'm with that.
Pay JJ.
Yeah, I'm all about paying JJ, man.
Yeah.
And so let me ask you guys. I know we kind of talked about this last week, Leo, but Josh Jacobs, man. So how do you guys feel about this whole situation? Like me personally, I want to pay him. I'm not buying all this rhetoric that you can just go out and get a running back and it's so easy to get one. Because if it was so easy, then we can just put Zeus in. But no one felt comfortable putting Zeus in. Zeus was like the third best running back in the draft last year, but no one's comfortable with keeping him. So you can't just pick a running back and make it work. So what do you guys think?
So are they waiting to sign a contract for him, or are they just?
Yeah. They're kind of in negotiation. You know, he has, I think, until July to sign that.
July 15th, I think, to sign the franchise tag.
So I think he would get $10 million guaranteed, but I think they're trying to work on a longer term deal. Me personally, I would like a 3-year deal. You know, maybe with some options on that 4th year. But give us a way out. And one thing about Ziegler, he loves writing them contracts to give us a way out. So he always has that trap door. So I love that. Big Daddy, what do you think, man?
You know what? $10 million right now is, except for McCaffrey, is some good dinero right now. But I think what's going to happen, they're looking at Saquon Barkley. And they both want to get paid $1 more. Okay, $1 more. Yeah. So if Big Daddy gets $10 million, $2, Barkley, he's gonna want Jacobs $10 million, $3. So to me, in my opinion, the smart play is to throw out, not crazy Derrick Henry money, but good money out there where maybe you're not you're in the top 3 of everything, but have an out after 1 year. Because if young man breaks his leg and he can't play, or he doesn't have the year he did before, we're going to be hurting cap-wise. Not a lot, but a little bit. I echo what you say. GMZ likes to do, just like they did Carr. Okay, do your thing, but we can get out of it. Same thing with Jimmy. We can get out of it. So to me, a running back, let's not forget, as much as we like Jacobs, a lot of his career already, he's been hurt. But last year was the greatest year he had. Can he duplicate that? Time will tell. But to me, it comes down to this. I truly believe he's going to sign the franchise tag. Do I think he's going to sign a great long contract and be the highest paid that's ever been paid? No. The McCaffrey money that was given out a couple years ago, that's not going to happen again. And you look at Zeke Elliott, Barkley, and all that. Those guys just play a position where they just are undervalued, unfortunately, man.
Yeah, I agree. It's unfortunate, but me personally, man, I really like what the Cleveland Browns did with Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
I like that 3-year deal. Honestly, I'm good with giving Jacobs 13, 14 mil. Because at the end of the day, we're going to expect a lot out of him. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't know, man, because at the end of the day, we know Jim, as good as Jimmy can be, but Jimmy's a game manager. Jimmy's not going to light it up on the stat sheet every week, So if Jimmy's at his best, he's going to have to be able to have a balanced offense. He's going to have to feed it to JJ. I don't know, man. I don't know. I debate a lot of people about this, but I'm okay with giving him like 13, maybe 14 max. but people are acting like he should only be getting 8 million and stuff like that. I'm
Oh
not.
hell no.
Yeah,
The
you know what I'm saying?
franchise
Like
tag
I'm
more
not.
than
I'm,
that.
I want to take care of him. I want him to be, feel good and be, motivated. Man, that's kind of where I'm at.
Man, I think with JJ, it's like I think I told you last time. It's an emotion thing as a Raider fan.
Yep.
Because he's been with us so long, because he's been our dog. And the year he had for us last year, like we want this dude to get his money, like he earned it. But OG brought a good point. He's been hurt a majority of his career, and a lot of these players do ball out on their contract years, and most of the time, the following years they don't live up to that hype.
That's true.
And unfortunately, Zeke messed up the market.
He did.
Zeke messed up the market.
You know what though? You know
crazy
what?
Money.
Everyone blamed Zeke. I think it was Gurley. Todd Gurley.
Oh, Todd Gurley was another one.
Todd Gurley
killed
the market.
I forgot
man.
about Gurley.
Yeah, I was like,
Gurley ain't even playing no more.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So and that leaves teams with this doubt. Like, what happens if we give you this money and it doesn't work out where it could be used elsewhere? I think, like how you said, I think dude said it last week about the way New England runs the three-headed monster, multiple backs, things like that. Yeah, that's good, but these backs still have to be good and dominant. And JJ's one of those guys you can't just let go because you don't want to pay him the money. I think he deserves it. Like I told you last time, I'm good with 3 years, fourth year option. Pay him more up front so it doesn't hit you so much on the back end. But like that 12, 13 range would be cool with me, man.
Yeah, no, I'm with that, man. It's just I don't know, man. It's just this narrative of he's just easily replaceable.
Oh no,
and again, like, and I don't know, maybe it's just because in my real profession, like I manage people, and I just think like to get the most out of people, you want to reward people that go above and beyond expectation. So for you to go above and beyond expectation, and I just treat you like, I ain't gonna say crap, but like I just treat you like, okay, whatever. Like what's gonna make me want to go above and beyond? You know what I'm saying? Like for me, when my manager makes me feel empowered and it takes care of me, then I will go run through a wall for her. You know what I'm saying? But for me to like go above and beyond and I get treated like this, like what's that saying to a Nate Hobbs, or what's that saying to the next dog that's coming up? Like, man, I'm a ball out, but they're not gonna take care of me.
Yeah, or even like with Max,
right?
Max Crosby,
right? I mean, Max, he, he got paid. He did what he did. He bought out and he's getting compensated for it. But I don't know, man. It's just sometimes I guess I think differently. Queen V, what do you think?
I think they should just get rid of Renfro and pay JJ.
Easy as that.
Easy as that.
I'm just saying.
Damn, Renfro is one of the fan favorites, though. But
I
said, a lot of it goes into emotion. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Chris with Waller. That's how I was laughing how hurt he was every time we brought up Waller. And
I know
emotions just get brought in when you think of players sometimes.
Man, it still cuts me deep. Man.
See,
and Big Daddy know, man. Big Daddy know, man. So that's why I'm not so bad with the car fans, because I understand how you can get attached to somebody and want them on your team. At the end of the day, man, I'm all about protecting the shield.
Yeah,
and that's literally why I made this platform, because I'm tired of people putting. And in fact, Big Daddy was he was one of the first ones that reminded me of it's all about the name that's on front of the jersey over the name that's on the back of the jersey. So, and that always hit home with me, man. Big Daddy, what do you got to say?
I just want to say, young lady's take is excellent. I would move on from Renfro when the time is right. Give that money to Jacobs, because, the more I was listening to you three football gurus and it sunk in. Renfro's making more than Jacobs right now. Yeah. Jacobs is our bell cow. I would even give Jacobs more than Jimmy, because Renfro's proven. Now, this regime right here, they come from a place where they don't pay running backs. And also, they came over here with the intent to make Jacobs and the and have a running back by committee. But then all of a sudden, after a couple games, McDaniel said, well, wait a minute. I didn't
got
know
a
this
dog.
guy. I didn't know this guy had bell cow potential.
Exactly.
Right. Yep.
Exactly.
And he became our bell cow, and it's now time to pay the bell cow. Now, to me, like I said, I think this is super very fair. If they don't want to go 2 or 3 year contract, just say, hey, big guy, you balled out last year. We franchised you for 10. Go ahead and sign this thing right here for 13, 14 for 1 year. If you hit crazy incentives where you blast another 1,500, we're going to throw in another 2 or 3 million. That incentive part is huge. But of course, the agents, and it's real what I said earlier, that whole thing with the Barkley thing, those guys they're looking at each other, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's, I mean, and that's how the market works, like, I think I was watching I Am Athlete or something. It was like a DB. They were talking about how they watch each other's contracts. They're like, man, they want that guy to go do good, because they're like, okay, next year I'm on a contract year, so now I'm about to beat that. So that they're looking at each other. But
it happened with the wide receivers with Tyreek and Tay. Yeah. Like, I want this, I want that. Now Diggs, yeah, they watch each other. They want them to do good, because then they set that standard for their contracts.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me say real quick before we get off Jacobs. Refresh my memory. Our leading ball carrier last year, and you see what they did in preseason. They actually had Jacobs playing in the Hall of Fame game.
Yeah.
Everybody thought we were showcasing him there for a trade. But the young man that was killing it in preseason, I want to say his name is Britton Brown. Did I get that right?
Yeah, Britton Brown did his thing.
Yeah, we shrewdly, instead of putting him on the practice squad, we came up with the injury because they thought somebody was going to come and get him. Zeus was, he was cool in preseason. But to me, that whole thing with Jacobs last year, I was shocked he was playing for preseason. And now, these guys are so secretive. That's why right now, people ask me all the time about the Renfro thing. And I know we cover that topic all the time. But people thought, oh, man, Devontae wants to get traded. The rumors about that. He don't click with Jimmy. Jacobs wants another team. And Renfro's going to get traded. But what you said was spot on. 90% of the nation, what we think is going to happen, it doesn't happen.
Never.
These guys are very sneaky, but in a good way.
Yeah. No, I agree. So, I mean, every single time. And Spicy's trying to get under my skin with this comment. Waller needed to go. She's trying to get under my skin, man. It's okay.
No, but you know what? That goes back to what I was telling you, though, Chris. It is emotion.
It is.
From a fan standpoint, like, you didn't want that to happen.
Yeah.
But from the team, the way everything transpired last year, like, it was time to go.
Yeah. I know. She just giving me a hard time, but it's all good though. It's all good. But yeah. So I mean, I don't know, man. It's at the end of the day, it's just I really hate all of this. This hatred that we have. At the end of the day, I'm okay with the direction we're going. I just think we need to go ahead and just trust the process. And again, now when I say trust the process, I'm not saying give people a pass. I'm just saying let's see what happens.
Right.
I mean, we have our expectations. As long as they're clear expectations, like my expectation, it should be, but my expectation is not going to the Super Bowl this year. We're not there yet. We're not that team.
Not in the AFC.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for one, you got to be realistic. But my thing is, if we can fight, get in this playoffs and be competitive, it's a good year. But at the end of the day, if we have another season like last season, that if somebody got to go, then somebody has to go. I'm holding everybody accountable. Whether it's Ziegler, whether it's Josh, whether it's Jimmy, whoever, I'm holding everybody accountable. So when we say trust the process, it's not a pass that like you can just be terrible and you get a pass for it. Like, no, we're just going to let you do what you do. We're going to give you your opportunity to get your people in here and do it. So I don't know, man. It's It's tough. It's tough. What do you guys think about I mean, what do you guys think about just the direction of this offseason so far? You know, now that we getting ready to go to training camp, you know, do you guys feel like we're in a good spot? Do you guys think we're going to make another move on the personnel side?
I don't see them making. Oh, go ahead, B.
Sorry, no, you're good. I think, like, when you've asked me, Chris, you know, anytime, you know, where do you think we're gonna go? I mean, I'm just waiting for preseason to start. From that point, you'll know where we're really gonna go. Yeah. You know, I don't want to make predictions. I don't want to guess anything yet until right after that. Then I can probably honestly tell you. I'll tell you where we're gonna be.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just what it is. You know,
man, shout out to Life of the Nation. Now, this comment right here, man, this hits home, man. So if this is a diving competition, are you going to give me scores as I climb the ladder? That's what everybody's doing. That's what everybody's doing. They want to give you a score while you're climbing up the ladder. Let the person dive. I want to see that double tuck twist, curl, whatever it's called, man. I want to see the dive, man.
I want to see the triple landing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want to see that, man.
Yep.
That's like, man, don't score me as I go up the ladder, man. Shout out to you, man. Life of the Nation. Love that comment, man. Love that comment. Let's see what Spicy got, man. Let's see. I like the direction. Moves still to be made, and they're getting worse. I mean, everybody got their opinion, man. Everybody got their opinion. I think that I think we're gonna be okay. Oh, she said they aren't getting worse. I'm sorry, I read it wrong.
The move that still intrigues me, and I saw this with our coordinator. He says he likes the direction of our defense and how it looks on all three levels, right? Yeah. And the first thing that popped to my mind is like, when did we get linebackers? Like, bro, like I'm cool with the D line where we're going, the rotation. I think our D line is going to be strong. The development of the secondary, but as far as moves, I still think there's still work to be done in that middle part, because that's always been our weakness with this team, the middle of the field. That's where we've been exploited. The defense has always been torched down the middle of the field. So at one point, when are we going to start developing and getting these linebackers on the team? Which goes, like, even when he was saying, as much as I like Renfro, if we were to trade him from one of those linebackers, I'm all for it. You know, even if it is just to rent him for the year. You know, if it is just rental for the year, maybe they don't want to pay them those long-term contracts or whatever. But I still want to see moves on that side of the ball. As far as the offense, I think it's just going to go continuing, like how V said, the preseason, see how they click, see how things are going, where changes need to be made, adjustments need to be made or added and things like that. But we really don't know until preseason starts and we start seeing these dudes take the field.
I just want to say I agree with young man about the middle of the field where Kelsey lives against us. Ooh, and the other 31 tight ends that get exploited all the time. Now, Patrick Graham sometimes will put in those extra DBs, and in my opinion, I would say, Coach Graham, protect the middle of the field, get us a sideline linebacker, and he'd come back to me and say, well, Big Daddy, we don't have one. And we're not going to give up the farm to get one. So we're in that position right there. But, man, this is going way back. But I think the last true linebacker that we had that was all pro, blah, 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 was probably before you guys were born, Rod Martin. We haven't had a dog in the middle
you went
like
back
that.
on us, man. You went
way back. I thought I was going to go with Beaker or something. Rod Martin.
Yeah. I mean, Woodson, we don't have to, Woodson handled everything on the back end, but right there in the middle, behind the trenches, we haven't had anybody there in a long, long time, and that would make a difference. But I would say this, and I don't want to beat this in the ground, but we spent so much time in the last 20 years getting Warren Sapp, getting Randy Moss, getting people like that. And we tried with Rolando McClain, enough said about that. So we tried. And I'll say this, man, I'm listening to you guys, and what you guys talked about, this regime catches a lot of flack. But this regime had nothing to do with Hayward Bay, Mike Mitchell, Jalal Ward, Jalen Farrell. You know,
Fabian Washington.
They weren't even here when we were the king of reaching. Every single draft that we watched, Mel Kiper, McShay, and all those guys would say, remember, the Raiders have their own way of doing things. And we would get every number one pick was a head scratcher. That's why I'm excited about this draft. The little that we had last year was productive. And I believe the next draft is going to be that much productive. And before I get off my little soapbox here, let me say this. You know, I believed in this guy in a red suit with a white beard was going to come down my chimney the first 8 years of my life.
Talk that talk, Big Daddy.
And then the eighth year, I saw my mother wrapping the present, and I said, "Oh man, that's bogus." Why do I say that? Since I was 11, I've always believed.
Talk
even
that
this
Santa
year,
Claus talk.
Yeah, I believe even this year that we're going to win the Super Bowl. And people look at me and they chuckle, and every now and then I'll get somebody to say, "Look at him. He looks really, really serious." And I am serious. I really believe every game we kick off, we're going to win.
Win the Super Bowl.
I believe that in all my heart, and that's the passion in me, and it will always be. That's why, to me, I've told people we're going to run the table and run the table and run the table until the powers to be saying we've been mathematically eliminated, which is usually by Christmas time. I'm gonna keep rolling that way, big guy.
Yep. I feel you. I'm the same way. Every year I get made fun of. You say this every year, and you know what? I'm gonna say it again next year, and the year after that.
I love it. Now I will admit I'm not that. I'm more of a realist, man. Like I want us to win. Now don't get me wrong, I want us to win, but I can start seeing the writing on the table about mid-season, man. Because I can start, every now and then they'll surprise me, but I can start seeing it. I'm like, so I don't know, man. I don't know. Port Raider, that was a good comment. To be honest, preseason doesn't count. We went 4-0 last year and then went 6-10. True. Preseason doesn't count, but I think more or less what V was talking about is, we just want to see, for one, we want to see like the depth chart. We want to see where the coaches, view certain players.
Right.
Because there was a couple players last year that I was surprised they were so high up on the depth chart. And actually this year I'm hearing that I don't know if it's true or not. I keep hearing that Tyler Hall might be slated as a starter. I don't know if that's true or not. So it's not confirmed. But like, just think about it. That's crazy if you really think about that. If he was another undrafted dude, man. But if he messes around and he's an athletic dude, he's fast. If he messes around and starts, that says a lot about him, man.
I want to say something about, because everybody bashes this regime, and don't think that I'm talking them up like they're my best friends, because it's not about that. And the Patriots stuff, man, I put that off to the side. But it goes like this: nobody talks about this anymore. Everybody wanted Aaron Rodgers, man. If we would have got Aaron Rodgers, we don't have Mike Mayer, we don't have Tyree Wilson,
right?
And our defense is still porous,
right?
Okay, so to me, nobody brings that up anymore. I'm glad that we didn't give up the house for him or to move up to get Stroud. Would I give up the house for Bryce Young? Absolutely. But not the rest of those guys. So we value our draft picks. That's why I don't see us sending a 3, 4, or 5 to go get a Patrick Queen or anything like that. They value their draft picks, and they got good scouting and what have you, man. So we bounce back with another draft next year. Now, one little tidbit while you guys brought up Renfro again. We sit on Renfro all the way to August. Here comes training camp. Jimmy, you ready? Or you're not ready? Then now we got Renfro as a trading chip to maybe knock on Atlanta's door for the backup. Help me with his name. They came from Washington. People like that.
Heineke?
Right.
Yeah.
Because to me, I'm not saying it's time to go get a backup quarterback now. No, I wouldn't. But these guys have already proven, except for Chandler last year, when it comes to free agency, they do two things: depth pieces, and they shop at the dollar store and the general store.
Yeah.
They don't go to the Coach store, the bougie stores. And I'm cool with that, because I think we got 20-something new people on this roster.
Yeah.
That to me, I'm cool with, because last year, the Malcolm Kunzes, and I know he's trying to keep his career going. Those guys, either they didn't get a chance, our tackles didn't ball out. That's why we had to draft tackles all over again. So we got to keep doing what we're doing until everything hits right finally, man.
Oh man, I feel you on that one for sure.
Yeah, no, that's true. And honestly, like, one thing about this regime, we always kind of like to compare, but the simple fact that how much dead cap does Gruden and them have us in? About 30 million.
I just saw a thing. I think we're still paying some of these dudes, and it's like
Right.
ridiculous. They haven't been on the team in forever.
That's what I'm saying, man. So it's like, at the end of the day, I love the fact that they keep preaching about the competition. They keep preaching about bringing guys in here that's going to compete. We're not going to, promise you anything. And honestly, I love Al Davis to death. But I mean, he always kind of started this thing of like, if you're a valued, free agent, you pretty much have a scholarship. Well, they used to call it the Davis Scholarship.
The Davis Scholarship. The Super Bowl MVPs, remember? The Larry Brown,
D'Angelo Halls, and them cat. You know what I'm saying? It was like, at the end of the day, it's like, man, like, get your butt in there, let the best man win. And I don't know why so many Carr fans are so upset about it, because Carr got in there on his rookie season and busted his butt, and he earned his starting job on day one. So it's like, why can't we let these guys get a chance? Give O'Connell a chance to go in here and compete, and let's see what happens.
Yeah.
I just don't get it, man.
I like that. I like that so much about this new regime, is that's how you develop the talent. That's where these dudes are going to start developing. The fact that we value draft picks now, I'm with when he said about Rodgers. Like, I don't want to trade the farm for anybody at this point, because we're not one player away from going all the way to the Super Bowl, even though I believe we're going to win the Super Bowl, but we're not one player away. So it's like, I want to value and build this team to have a future, so we can get to that mentality of next man up, because past we haven't been. We may have had runs, but once one dude or one key piece was gone, like, that was it. That was the season. We had nobody else to fill that role, and it would get exploited and things like that. So definitely glad that they're bringing in all these dudes, and they're going to have that mentality that no one's job is set. You have to earn it. Because even with Carr, as much as I love them, and when Gruden brought in Mariota, I think that's what made Carr play even better, knowing he had this dude right on
his back,
right behind him, like this. Like, it wasn't even like far. It was this close.
Yeah.
From you being on the bench, if you fuck up, we're going to bring in Marcus. So having that, I think, creates that competition. And I want to see what O'Connell's going to look like. I've seen his story. He's kind of like Brady, one of those walk-on dudes, earned the starter, became the quarterback over at Purdue, things like that. And just to see guys with that work ethic, to see how it transitions into the NFL can be different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Daddy, let me run this take by you. You ready?
Yeah.
People have asked me, who's your second favorite team? I go, come on, man. Don't ask me that. But when they ask me, name and order the teams that I dislike, because, I don't want to use the word hate, but I'll go ahead and say it. Hate. I snuck it in. Number one, our rivals here when they were over here, the 49ers. Number two, everybody in the AFC West. And number three, the Patriots. Why do I even bring up all these little goodies? If we would have got a coach and a front office guy from anybody but those teams right there, it would have been copacetic, trust the process, and we could have came up with a lot of cliches.
Yeah.
But we got it from one of our most hated rivals. And that's what the whole thing is. Now I'm going to give you my crazy take. It's like this. You're rolling with your girl X amount of years. Boom. You get divorced, and you have the audacity to one of your best friends now is going to date her.
Oh, you ruffling some feathers on this Friday night, Big Daddy. Talk your talk, baby.
See what I mean? See what I mean? And that's what's happening, man. That's what's happening, man, to Raider Nation. That's why it split us. I don't want to say it split us in half. It did split us in half, but it split us in thirds. What are you talking about, Big Daddy? A third went with Carr.
Yep.
A third is here like us. And that other third is crying about former Patriot this, former Patriot that. And it's going to be like that. Oh, and then I'm going to throw in a fourth. Oh, man, they're not in Oakland anymore.
Oh.
You know what I mean? You know?
That's spicy. That's spicy right there.
Right. They're not in Oakland anymore. I'll never spend a penny in Vegas. They're not in LA anymore. I'll never spend a penny in Oakland. And it goes on and on. And I really, when I try to keep my cool all the time, but sometimes I might have to tell somebody, well, you know what, man? Don't go to the games. Don't watch them on TV. More tickets for me. But, everybody talks a big game. But come Sunday, 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock.
They're watching it. They're watching it. Yeah. They're watching it.
Right.
No, that's true, man. I know so many people like that. I know, Big Daddy, you being from the motherland of Oakland, man. I know me and you know people mutually that's like that, man. Sometimes it's hard to deal with it, but man, I don't know. So let me ask you this, and I know we're kind of getting close to time, but so how would you guys evaluate Mark Davis? Because this is another big debate that I've been in. How would you guys evaluate Mark? Like, what kind of grade would you give him since being the owner?
Ooh.
I don't have no comment.
You know what, bro? I'm not gonna lie to you. It probably was lower until after I saw your interview with Coach Jackson. It shed a lot of light on what Mark as a person had endured and gone through, and what he was expected to carry on. It's not easy. Big Daddy just shared a lot of info. I love like the history of this team. A lot of Oakland people love this team to death. The LAers, us, me, when we had them here, we loved them in LA, and some of us followed them, some people didn't. But the shield, the logo is huge. It represents so much, and to be in charge of that and not really understand fully the ins and out because you weren't involved growing up that way, it's hard. And of course, you're gonna have all these people in your ear. Oh, you need to do this, or you need to do this, or you should have do it this way. Or I think Mark has been doing the best he can. I will give Mark an A on this, on the value of the team. I loved going to Oakland. The atmosphere was amazing, but that stadium was different. Yeah. I've been to the stadium in Vegas. Huge difference. Amazing, beautiful stadium. Yep. I wish the atmosphere inside was the same. But he took this team to what is now worth, in the billions, I believe?
Yeah, 5.1.
Yeah.
Right? And so now our team has that value. Right. Now it's starting to attract these free agents, these endorsements. Shit, even Brady wants to be a part of it because it's becoming so big. The value of his team. So in that sense, I will give him an A. I think as far as the moves he's making, he's trying to deviate from the carousel, which is why he brings in what he believes are his guys, He brought in the Gruden and Mayock, and they were going to do their thing, and he gave them control. You guys do what you do, and unfortunately, things happen. Gruden had to go, and now he's with these guys. And he hears the nation upset because of McDaniels and Ziegler and this, and that, but he's sticking to making sure they get a chance to build something and not just overreact and start bringing in different coaches every year because he remembers what that was like before. You get what I'm saying?
Nah, 1,000%. For me, I think people don't understand or they devalue the importance of the value of your team. Like being able to, give bigger signing bonuses and money up front and stuff like that. I was literally just having this conversation with someone today because this guy was talking about how, in the last 9 years, basically he was just dogging Mark, and and he actually made the reference of his job. He was like, "Oh, well, I moved up in my job, and the only thing that's above me is the owner, and I can run the team or whatever." But my thing is, if you really look at what Mark has done, 9 years ago, the Raiders were valued at $825 million.
Yep.
Right now, at least actually as of last year, they were valued at $5.1 billion. That is a 518% increase.
Yep.
That's crazy when you think about it, man.
For
That's
a team
crazy.
that sucks.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just like at the end of the day, man. It's like, come on, man. We gotta, we really gotta look at it. And I mean, this dude's really been, I mean, of course he's made mistakes just like anyone else, but people tend to have amnesia when it comes to some of the questionable things that Al Davis did in his last 30 years, living. So, we're not gonna go deep into that. At the end of the day, we all love Al. He's the reason, we wear this shield and all this stuff, man. But I don't know, man. I just, at the end of the day, I just hate these narratives that's just going on, about the team, man, and the regime. So I just want to, I love talking to other Raiders, even if their opinion's different, but I like to let's base it on facts. Let's try to get away from the emotion, because I have to learn to do it, because I get emotional when I talk about Waller. It's probably creepy how much I like Waller, man, but it's like I have to do, I got to learn to, get past it,
Let me say this about Mr. D, Daddy.
Yeah.
Al Davis's son was the Oakland Raiders, not Mark Davis. Mark Davis was his son biologically, but he never had him to the side saying, son, I'm going to teach you football inside and out, because Daddy was enamored with everything, coach, commissioner, owner, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not saying he was a bad father. He's in heaven, and I don't want to go down that road. But Mark wasn't involved in that. Yeah, he became really good buddies with Cliff Branch and Marcus Allen and people like that. But on the football IQ and acumen, that's not him. You ask for a grade. The reason I say C+ is because he doesn't meddle. He's not Jim Irsay, saying the wrong thing after drinking and taking pills. He's not Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is Al Davis wannabe. So to me, he keeps, he goes, man, you guys want me to go here in Bobby Flay's kitchen when I got this team? I don't even know how to cook. And that's what happened to him. So he leaned on, Mr. Madden and people like that. Now, granted, those guys were Hall of Famers, but this football that's played now is totally different, and how things are run. Reggie, the way he did things, totally different. Gruden, I was happy we got Gruden back, but the way his situational football, how he coached, the players loved him, but his situational and adjustments was still in the late 80s. Yeah. So to me, something came into his heart, and he said, you know what? I got to go outside of the organization and try a different bat at home plate. I'm all for it. And then lastly, he really did try to keep the team in my hometown of Oakland. But Oakland, we just didn't have the money, man. We didn't have the money. We got too much crime. There's a lot of other cities with crimes and all that. And I'm not going to dog on the mayor, but they just didn't step up to the plate. So financially, to get offered 750 or 800 million for his new digs in Vegas, that was a smart play. The players, when they draft now, no taxes in Vegas.
Yeah.
And we just got to continue to draft and add people that love football, people that are going to give it everything they got. And on their birth certificate says DOGS, dog.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right. I think, you're right. And just like you said, Leo, man, I think talking to Hugh Jackson really gave me, some good insight, both good and bad, about Al Davis. Because for one, a lot of the rumors that we heard about Al, he was able to kind of tell me if that was true or not. And to be honest, man, like, again, I love Al Davis for all that he's done, but at the end of the day, he set us back quite a bit. And Mark was put in a tough position, man. He was put in a tough position. And again, I'm not gonna, give him a lifeline and just say, you messed up and you get a pass. I mean, everyone has to be held accountable regardless. If you weren't ready for it, then maybe you should have said you didn't want the position or whatever, but I don't know, man. It's tough, man. At the end of the day, I just want us to be able to, really root for our team, man. Whether it's the good and the bad. I'm not like you guys, so I'm not gonna say Super Bowl every year, but let's cheer our squad on, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's cheer our squad on.
Yeah.
But yeah, just in closing, man. I know, Big Daddy, and I don't want to put you on the spot, man, but I know you have done what we call a wow segment, was the words of wisdom. I think, just kind of looking at the comments, man, you've been a hit out here, in the comments. And I don't want to put you on the spot, so if you're not ready, that's fine. But do you got, just a couple words for people, just some words of wisdom that we can have on a Friday? While you do that, I'm gonna pour up some Grand Leyenda tequila from you, Jackson. Because I know you're about to touch my soul, man. But you got anything for us? If not, it's cool. Let me know. I'll freestyle it. But you got anything for us?
I'm always ready. You know me, brother. You can wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning and I'll hype you up. You ready?
Talk that talk, baby.
And it goes like this. And I wish I was sipping on the tequila, but
shout out to you, Jackson, baby. Grand Leyenda.
I'm gonna have to open up my Patron 70, but that's in a few minutes. But I'll say this: I want to talk about all of us being qualified. And when I say that, it goes like this: if you struggle with addictions, food, alcohol, la droga, abuse as a kid, or even abuse now, but now you're doing better and over it, you're qualified to help somebody else. There's so many things that we went through for a reason that qualify us to help others. We were born to do two things: grow and serve others. So I say this: tomorrow, I know I personally expect to be a better version of myself than I was today, June 2nd. And it's the same thing with everybody else. Wherever you're at right now, don't accept your normal. Don't accept don't let today be your forever. It's time to move on. What happens is, why do we get in a bad relationship and a bad job? Because we settle for it. And all of a sudden we look at our family tree, and our family tree says, well, man, daddy and mommy never went this high. So I guess all I got to do is just keep it right there. But we were meant to go higher than our family tree. And I'll end it with this: every day you wake up, you have a pen in your hand, writing your life story. Don't let anybody else take that pen out of your hand, and finish your life story with you being the hero.
Love it, man.
Amen.
Love that.
I told you, man.
Amen to that.
Hey, my man be talking to the soul, don't he?
For real.
To the soul. I love it, man. But any final words for you, Leo, Queen V? Y'all got anything for me?
Go ahead, Leo.
You know what? I love and I appreciate what Big Daddy said, because it holds so true to heart and everything. A lot of times people say, why you guys get so worked up about a team and this and that. But at the end of the day, it's about growth for yourself, for your family, for everything, and serving others. So I take to heart what he said, and I try to instill that in our family. They got here, I'm going to be here. My kids are going to be here, so on and so forth. And we're going to keep growing. So, and I love that, man. And I wish a lot more people thought that way.
Absolutely. Queen V, you got anything for us?
Like he said, yeah, that was really, really good. I really appreciate him saying that, because it is true. That is life. That's just, what we have to live by. And I'll go Raiders no matter what.
Go Raiders. But no,
Super Bowl, Chris. Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. You know what? We got it. We got it.
Just say it one time, Chris.
Huh?
Just say it one time.
All right, Super Bowl this year, baby. We there.
You gotta manifest it, bro. You gotta manifest it.
Hey, but I'll tell you one thing. I'm not going on any of those betting sites and betting on it. I'll tell you that.
Oh no.
I said manifest. Don't lose the house.
Hey, Daddy,
Yeah.
Daddy, when you get to the bottom of that bottle, you're gonna start saying we're gonna win 5 Super Bowls in a row.
I
Right.
might. I'm feeling good right now, man. I'm telling you, this Respirado, man, is right. Is right.
You know what, Daddy? I want to add one last thing. I know I was done, but something that is touching to me, and it's true, but nobody ever talks about it. Because of our silver and black team, our beloved Raiders, wherever they're at, and now they're obviously in a new city. I look back in time, and obviously I got a couple of years on all 3 of you young people, but because of them, I've met the most beautiful persons in my lifetime. And your 2 guests that I'm meeting for the first time, I put them right there with it too. They know their football, and I can feel their soul when they speak Raider football. And because of our team that we argue about, debate, and all that, whether it's Virginia, the East Coast, the Midwest, Florida. I remember being in Jamaica wearing these colors, and I could hear at the end of a pier somebody yell, Raider Nation. And it was somebody out there wearing Raider gear from Jamaica, you know. And to me, as Raider fans, somebody told me this, and it stuck with me a long time. We're that poor, faithful wife. What do you mean, Big Daddy? At 5 o'clock in the morning, with alcohol on his breath and lipstick on his collar, that wife always takes.
She still love you.
She still loves you no matter what. No offense, young lady. No offense.
I got you.
Oh man, shout out to the old wives, man. Big Daddy loves y'all, man. But again, man, I love you guys so much. I appreciate you guys for coming on. Again, we're gonna make this a weekly thing, man. So any other fans that are interested in stepping up and in chatting with us on Fridays, I'll definitely appreciate it. You know, hit me up. But again, sure, man, you know, like, share, subscribe. You know, at the end of the day, as I always say, players and coaches, they come and go, but we must always protect the shield. You guys be safe. I love you guys, man.
Amen.